right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Baltimore Washington Connection Show. We are back this Saturday. Excuse us about last Saturday, personal things. Like I said, we're going to work on that consistency one day. One day, one day we're going to come back to back to back to back.
We're going to get it right.
And we're going to get it right. This is an exciting show today, somewhat bittersweet. We will be talking about the march yesterday. However, we want to start out with the sad news that we heard about Chadwick Boseman, who lost his battle to colon cancer. He has been battling colon cancer since 2016. He is survived by his parents and his wife. And this is it's unexpected. It's tragic. 2020 has really put a damper in all of our lives. Yes. From the loss of Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gigi to now Chadwick Boseman, along with this godforsaken pandemic that we are in. So we just want to kind of give a moment of silence to Chadwick Boseman's family and his wife, and just give them the respect that they deserve today, because he is an awesome man. I watched the speech again that he did at Howard University, and I cried. It was so inspiring, and just knowing that the whole time he was in a battle for his own life,
right? Like in a battle for his life, and still that just comes to show, like, don't give up, keep pushing, keep doing. I mean, he was the epitome of that, like, to keep pushing through regardless of his circumstances. And you didn't even know like what was going on aside from, the noticeable weight loss, but it was just like still thriving, still pushing through. You know what it takes to go through countless sessions of chemotherapy and to still be pushing yourself despite the news that you may not be here anymore. And it's just so profound. And I mean, when I got the news last night, it was just so heartbreaking, at just 43. And but resilience still rose up, and I was just so much gratitude that he still continued to push through despite the circumstances. It was just wow, rest in power, rest in power.
Yeah. So we'll just give the family just this moment of silence. And all right. So, well, as y'all know, I was at the march this weekend.
Yes.
Y'all who could not make it. And let me tell you something. It was quite an experience. I got there about 9:00, and this was the first time I actually rode the train since March. I have not been on the train other than when I went to Baltimore, but I was on the MARC train, so it was a kind of different experience. And man, the amount of people who showed up to that march was incredible. Mm-hmm. The different people that came out, our allies, those who are not Black. It was just amazing. Ayanna Pressley came out and spoke. Jamal Bryant, although, we have
I love to hear him speak. That's the thing.
Honestly, I love to hear Jamal Bryant speak, and he tore it up as he's a great speaker. He is a great speaker. So it was really lit. I enjoyed him speaking. There were a few local pastors that I really enjoyed from DC. Al Sharpton, he came out and he did his thing. He really spoke.
Pastors, I don't know. I'm just rolling my eyes.
I know
pastors. I'm just not even gonna go there. Like,
hey, I'm not mad at you, boo. I'm not.
No, whatever. Whatever to these pastors, yo. If I could say fuck these pastors. That's my opinion. There's a trip.
Hey, like you say, Anissa, feel how you feel. Okay.
I'm just saying.
The fakeness. Just showing up at any opportunity to gather more people to your sermons. I don't want to hear that. That's whatever. Just like, they get on my nerves.
I'm not mad at you because honestly, I didn't want to spoil the moment and make my little side comment about him. Like, yeah, he speaks really well when he's not fucking everybody in his congregation, but I'll leave that alone.
A former member of the church.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said, I love how he talk.
Right.
Whatever it does to other people to be, it motivates me. But aside from that, I mean, the type of person he is, the outside of church, I just love how he talk.
I mean,
no
who am I to
homo.
judge, right? I'm just a
He's
little
so
person.
motivating. Yes, he will talk the draws off of you.
Yeah.
So anyway, literally. So anyway, that was great. Martin Luther King III came out, and he was very, very powerful.
Okay.
He was very powerful. I appreciated that in his granddaughter who spoke. That was great. When Al Sharpton got to speak in and I was looking at the stage, I was like, I am supposed to be up there.
Yes.
I'm not supposed to be down here. Who, me, a commoner? No.
So Nova, for those who don't know or don't have a clue, what was this march about yesterday?
Well, this march was about getting your knee off our necks. And this was, because of what we saw happen to George Floyd, we all came together. And I will say that the realization of that brought tears to my eyes. Seeing all of these people come together and what sparked it. Although we've seen violence against the Black community many, 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 many times and years and years and years, this particular incident was different because of the way it was done. It was a slow kill. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
It was a slow kill.
Right in front of everyone.
Yeah, it was terrible. So we all came together. There were people who I met, and I'm going to look at my phone because I want to make sure that I do not mess this the name up, because as we've talked before on our show about the many lynchings that have taken place that are deemed as suicides, okay? They are deemed as suicides. I met a woman who was there with Trayvon Martin's mother because, as you all know, I snuck my way onto the stage. Again, I am not a commoner. And so I was able to maneuver myself.
Kansas City in you.
Okay, you better show me something, baby. So I got onto the stage and I met a lady by the I don't remember the mother's name, forgive me, but Lennon Lacey. There's a petition on change.org to reinvestigate the lynching of Lennon Lacey, whose body was found hanging in an all-white trailer park. I don't know how many Black men want to go to a white trailer park to kill themselves, but that's what they're saying. And we have to be mindful of this. And here's my issue with some of our politicians, even the ones that were at the march, get your knee off our necks. Here you all talk about defunding the police and doing away with the militarization of the police force. They're only speaking of equipment. And I'm going to keep saying this on this show. They're only talking about equipment. They are not talking about personnel. And that is the problem. I'm not going to get on my soapbox with that. I'm just going to keep it moving. Lennon Lacey, however, you all who are watching, please make sure you look up that case. Go to change.org and make sure you reopen the case. They also have people who were passing out flyers where you can, use your phone and zap that little barcode so that you could go to a website where it talked about reopening cases. There's many cases that people want reopened and investigated. So there are a lot of people who are dying. The ones that we are seeing, that's a small fraction of the ones that we are not seeing. And this is happening to us all over the place. And we're doing our best to shed light. Michael Brown's mother was there. His family was there. There were a lot of people there. But I honestly believe that, yes, this was a great, powerful moment to see people come together. However, it's not enough.
It's not.
Right.
It's not enough. Until we get task force, okay? Until we get task force together, as I've said before, whether that be gun task force to combat drugs such as K2 in our communities, task force to deal with molestation in our communities. Okay, and I could really open up a can of worms from what
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna let you finish because I overheard a conversation the other night. Some young brothers from the hood.
Okay, let's get there because I could open up a can of worms.
Because they said, and I heard this myself. They said for every gun they had, we got 4 of them motherfuckers in our house. We know our neighborhoods better than they know our neighborhoods. It's time for us to start raising up. They said it's not gonna get settled until somebody's neighborhood gets ready to pull down the police, and it's gonna happen from one hood to the next hood. For every 2 guns they got, we got 4 of them already in our house, and we know our hoods better than they know our hoods. They're getting tired.
You know what?
They're getting tired.
The words that have been going on in my mind, like we getting tired of this. So we
and white people looking up. They was. As they were saying this, they was like,
"My God!"
Right?
These straight hood, been to jail, been shot, been stabbed. They don't care no more. They ready. You know what I'm saying? They ready.
Not at all. And like I said, we need task force, and we also need lobbyists, black lobbyists. We need money. See, we have politicians, but in my opinion, we have broke politicians. We don't have money to move things.
And that's where the athletes come to play.
Okay, and so we have to put money behind some things. We have to come into the table with money. So that's just my opinion. This was a great march, but there's a lot of work to be done, and this march is not. It's not going to solve it. Yes, we've raised the issue.
I'm tired of marching.
While we're raising this issue, Jacob Blake at the time was handcuffed to his bed after being shot 7 times and deemed paralyzed. Let me explain something to you. My father...
What was the charge?
Exactly. My father, who died in prison, by the way, he had cancer. He was in prison for a nonviolent crime. When we went to visit him, he was shackled to the bed. This man is 6'2", weighs what, $130. Where is he going to go?
And I said the same thing yesterday when I found out about Jacob Blake being handcuffed to the bed and being paralyzed from the waist down. I'm like, where in the fuck is he going to go? You see what I'm saying?
Tired.
Like that's just the part of their way of dehumanizing us.
I'm tired. I'm tired of marches. I'm tired of the visuals. I'm tired. All this marching for what? For what? You know what I'm saying? We've been marching for years. We've been marching for decades, and nothing's being heard. And we're asking for something that I'm not optimistic with this society that we live in, with the government, that we're going to ever see. What the hell are we keep marching for, and why are we keep showing up to these places when we're never going to get equality? Not from the Democrats, not from the Republicans. Democrats ain't nothing but New Age slavery, and they've been teaching us that they've been a better class to put for many years. And I'm just at a place where I'm just tired of marching, tired of seeing us crying, tired of seeing mothers asking for peace. It's time to do something. And I don't know what that is, but these young men are getting tired of it. And if it's a civil war or whatever it's going to end up being, I am personally tired of the marches, individuals, and the speeches from pastors who live in these communities, who bring their churches into these communities while these neighborhoods are falling apart, and they're asking for your tithe so they can walk away with a Bentley or a Rolls Royce, while they sit in these communities that ain't got nothing to do with where they got their community, their churches in. I'm tired of that.
I was watching.
Marches for.
I feel like the black church.
I'm done.
Yeah, I feel
like if the black church would wisen up like the Catholics did, you have a whole Vatican City. Whole Vatican City. Okay? Where did that money come from? That came from indulgences. This is why Martin Luther posted the 99 Theses on the wall. Okay? They were telling you got to pay for forgiveness of your sins. The difference is the black church, you got to pay for your blessing. Okay? So why is it that you never built a city for us? Yeah. All that money we put in, you couldn't even think to build a city, a safe haven for us to make sure that we ate.
It's sad because I was watching the march yesterday, And first and foremost, I ain't know anything about it. Like it happened real quickly.
I didn't even know either. I didn't know nothing about it either.
But while I was watching, in the back of my head, I said, it looks good. It looks good on camera. It really does. The unification, the people speaking, but where does it go from here? That was in the back of my head. Like, I see what you're doing. I hear what you're doing. And some of the people that was affected by, the victims and, moms and parents came out. But the whole time I was sitting there watching this, I'm thinking two things. Where does this go? And they're looking at this saying, "Here we go again."
This is
here they go again with the marches.
Give them a march. Give them a march. Anything to shut them up. Give them a
march. You could tell how controlled it was because you couldn't find the police nowhere.
Very.
You could not find the police nowhere. There was the only thing the police were there for was to make sure that the streets was blocked off.
Yeah.
This was under control.
And I'm with Anissa too, because every time when somebody get killed, black person get killed, we take to the streets. Every time when a black person is killed, we want to march. I agree totally with Anissa. We have to do something else that's going to make an impact, a statement to say, "Hey, we're tired. We're not playing no more." You see what I'm saying? And once we relay that message, that's when things are going to change.
But what does "we tired" look like?
Honey.
Candy.
It looks like that conversation.
You want to know something? I think that the athletes are going to play a major play in that, because at the end of the day, they hold all the money. If you get all the athletes, all the black entertainers together, or you get them with the people that were at those marches yesterday, who have been doing this for centuries, for decades, and we talk and we put our money in the right place, there's no way that we can be stopped. Okay. And what I'm tired of is how that young white boy was able to walk up and do what he wants to do. And we have Crips, we have Bloods, we have GDs, we have all this. We have all these young black men in the hood every day with guns killing each other, but yet and still, they don't have a damn thing to do. Don't have nothing to stand on when something real is going on in the world.
Come on now.
You know what I mean? How do you allow? And then, you know what, really, I want to give a shout out to the baby boomers and those that were born in the 50s, the 40s and everything, 30s and on, that are still here. Because can you think about how crazy they're going right now?
Yeah.
My father is ready to grab his gun and go out like the white boy. Like, are you crazy?
Come on.
Do you know how traumatic that is, that they've been having to deal with this since birth? It's disrespectful. It's blatant disrespect is what it is. And I am so happy. And I'm glad that the athletes are going back. They have to, because they take care of so many people. They need that money. But I'm so happy that they stood there. And granted, some of the other athletes was pissed at the Bucks for saying, "Hey, screw this. We're not doing it." But again, that happened in their backyard. I'm glad that they took a stand and said, "We're not doing this." And since then, they have been on the phone with Obama. They've been on the phone with politicians. They've been on the phone making sure we got to get something done. Again, we can go back to the Meek Mill situation. Meek Mill has been battling that forever.
Yeah, we need to have a conversation.
Meek Mills have been battling forever. Meek Mill's got them two rich billionaires, white men behind him. And next thing we know, Meek Mills was out of jail. Next thing we know, Meek Mills has a jail reform and everything else. Jay-Z is behind them. They're making things go behind the scenes. At the end of the day, we need the Jay-Z's, the Puffies, the ones who have all the money, the ones that we see on TV, that we listen to. We need them to stand up and say something. I don't give a damn what we do. We need to do something as a people, because we as the consumers, if they got up as our quote unquote leaders, because that's what we look to. Honestly, when we turn on TV, when we turn on the radio, we really care about these people's opinions. The kids do. We follow their lead. If they get up there and they say something of quality, we will follow. And I do truly believe that. I truly do believe that. And all the young brothers that are in the hood, that are ripping the hood apart, that are so damn gangster, I want to see your gangster ass stand up with all your pistols When you see something crazy go on, take the bishop approach.
Okay.
Take the bishop approach.
Who got the juice?
And do what you got to do.
Who got the juice?
But here's the thing. I feel like this too. I think that part of the reason why entertainment, they don't speak up because there's always something dangling behind them. Most of them don't own the rights to their music. Most of them don't own the rights to the things that they do. And at any given time, their contracts can be wiped right from underneath them. So they lose their money.
But
so
that's a price.
The reality is half them entertainers.
I mean, I know that's the price that they gotta pay, but I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing. A lot of them just don't want to lose their money. You know, money can really rule how everybody think and feel, and it's just like, why haven't they been doing it? You know what I'm saying? Because most of them, just like what's our boy Mariah Carey's ex-husband. You know what I'm saying? Like the moment they speak their piece. He had $1 billion contract. I mean, his show was worth millions, if not billions, and was taken right from underneath him. And there he go with his coon ass apologizing for what?
A whole apology to her, nigga. You should have stood on your shit.
A whole goddamn apology.
You should have stood on your shit.
It's crazy.
If we band together as a people, we got the money.
Turn around and apologize for the truth. That's what we doing now.
I'm just assuming that that's what's happening. That's why a lot of them aren't speaking up.
Well, he need to stop going around talking about that we God's chosen people, because at the end of the day, Jesus didn't apologize for nothing.
Sure didn't.
And you're gonna go on an apology tour. You be quiet. You're not a part of that tribe.
And Jesus stood for the people. Jesus was for the people, not the rich people. He was for the poor people. He was for the people of the land.
Everybody, yes.
Irritating.
Yeah.
You can offer the picture. I don't know if I posted that, but I have a picture. I'll post that later. But Jesus was a protester.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yes.
Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah, that picture was up there. Yeah, I got some. Hey, honestly, I want to shout out. Okay, so I did a presentation at work as I was leaving out. My last week was this past week, and someone reached out to me and was just like, "This was an awesome presentation." Who happened to be a freelance journalist. And I'm like, well, what does that entail? Like, how do you become a freelance journalist? You know, I did a stint at CBS and learned a lot of things, but I never got onto the freelance side. So she basically just walked me through the whole how to do it. I set up my Twitter, DC Nova Pearl. So y'all go follow me if you are on Twitter. And she showed me how to do it. We met up at the march, although we got separated. But she just basically told me how to do this, and it's so exciting. It was so fun. I'm like, I'm really good at this. And so I got some really great pictures.
You really did. Awesome photos.
Yeah, they were.
I really, and I'm going to take y'all's advice and see if maybe I could send some of my pictures somewhere, because I mean, it was just, it was like I said, it was spectacular to see everybody out there. However, like we all said, there's more to and we need a conversation, and we need some laws, and we not only need demilitarization of the police force in terms of equipment, we need demilitarization of the police force in terms of personnel. Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna go into something else. I know everybody has some great things to talk about. I know Candy is we were gonna talk about the I thought you was frozen for a minute, Candy, the way you were sitting still. But I wanted to see. Let me know.
You know what, really, and then to be honestly, I'm sorry, but I am so sick of like everybody else of everything that's going on. I am a athlete guru. I love sports. I live for sports. That's all I do. If you let me live, I will wear sweatsuits all day. I am so proud of our Black men for standing up and saying no. Granted, they are going back to work today. Please watch, because I will be. But I am very proud of them for standing up and saying no. We want change. Change will come. We will not continue to be your workhorses while we become millionaires and you become billionaires. I am very proud of Michael Jordan for finally saying, hey, I have arrived. I am Michael Jordan. Yes, I am an owner, but I am an ex-player and I am a Black man first. And change will come. I am very, very proud of that. I am proud of the young players for standing up. Not only the older players in the league, but the younger players by saying no. That's one thing I do like about this generation. They're saying no. We will not be mistreated. We will not we will not allow you to treat us this way. We're educated. We're beautiful. We're great people. We make this country run. Our ancestors built it while your ancestors stole it, killed us, raped us. So when you have mixed kids and you have them saying, I'm not racist, neither was master. Okay. So make sure, which is off my NBA subject, but make sure if you do have mixed children, you're also taking the time to educate yourself to know how important and how special Black people are and what we go through every day. We are more than throwing a ball. We're more than kicking a ball. We're more than dunking a ball. Those Black men are very powerful, and they make billions upon trillions for those white owners and Michael Jordan.
That's deep.
But most of them are white owners. They have a few of them that are from overseas, but most of them are white owners who own property in the United States that are slumlords, that will not rent to us, that mistreat us. So again, as a people, we have to stand for something or fall for anything. We have to start holding people accountable. Thank you, NBA. I will be watching today.
Yes. You know, I want to touch on what you just said about.
That was awesome.
But it's sad. You know what I mean? All across the board, it's sad that we have to continue to witness this. And let me also give a shout out to the WNBA, because again, Black women are very powerful. A lot of times we get mistreated and overlooked in the United States of America. You know what I mean? I've seen that firsthand. Black women are very powerful. We are mistreated. We are abused. We are underpaid. Them Black women stood. They had gunshots on the back of their T-shirts to represent Mr. Jacob Blake, who was brutally shot in front of his children. Let's talk about that. Their mental health.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Their mental health, watching their father get shot. They wanted to kill the man, but God had a different plan. You know what I mean? So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how all the NBA players, the NFL players, the ex-players, let's talk about that. If you haven't heard what Doc Rivers had to say, please Google that. That was beautiful. You know what I mean? Could you imagine how that feels?
Yeah.
Do you know how many white men are raising? How you know how many white men have Black sons because they have Black wives, and they have to also go through this? Nick Wright, if you haven't heard what Nick Wright had to say about his 6'2" Black son that has encounters with the police while he cried on Fox Sports, please listen to that. You know what I mean? It's a shame. They understand that they are rich, so therefore certain things they will not have to deal with. But at the end of the day, they're Black men in America. They're raising Black sons. They have Black nephews, Black cousins, Black friends. It's a shame. It is a shame.
It is.
Can I go back to what you were saying about these people owning property? Because as you know, this is the end of August is actually where we will enter into the eviction crisis in America. And I just want to say, though, and I have to keep talking about this because this is disproportionately affecting Black and brown people. Black and brown people. Black and Latinos are twice as likely to rent apartments or homes as whites. So this is going to disproportionately affect us. While we have great organizations with ample amount of money speaking about Black Lives Mattering and how Black Lives Matter, I think that it is extremely important for them to put their money where their mouths are. Don't just tell me that Black Lives Matter when Black lives are pretty much getting ready to be on the street. And what's going to happen is, as people are on the streets and unable to feed themselves, morbidity rates are going to go up. You do not have access to fresh produce. You do not even have a refrigerator to put it in. So the way that people are eating is going to be bad. Children are going to be displaced. You'll see sex trafficking going up. Mothers and fathers trying to keep their family afloat. Children abused, all of that type of stuff. So I do want to mention that. Don't tell me as a corporation, even Jeff Bezos' wife, who decided to, donate $1.5 billion to organizations fighting against racial equity and all that other stuff, fighting for racial equity, I should say. Don't give me an organization. It's people getting ready to be on the streets. We need some rent pay. Okay?
Absolutely.
So if you are a major corporation or organization, we need rent pay. We need people to be able to stay in their homes, because right now Black America and Brown America is facing homelessness. So think about the fact you don't have a home and you have to homeschool your child. There's another generation of children who are going to be miseducated. Yet you say Black Lives Matter.
Yep.
Yet you say you want equity for Black lives in America. Wealth equity. How? How can that happen? Don't tell me Black Lives Matter if you are not in tune with what's happening in terms of the eviction crisis that is happening in America today. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to add that. Sorry.
And again, I think that that's absolutely crazy too, and sad as well. And again, that goes back to the system. I always tell my kids, we don't make it because of the system, we make it in spite of the system. The fact that, think about that, they won't give us loans so we can get homes, so now we have to rent homes. You know, now we don't have jobs. So many of us don't have jobs. And granted, the coronavirus is real, but that also allowed employers to use that to get rid of people as well. Let's talk about that. You know what I mean? I no longer work at my job. One of only a few Blacks, the only Black woman that worked there, by the way, which worked there 4 years. During that time, they wanted to tell me I didn't work hard. Mm-hmm. You know you didn't work hard. There were some days, come on, you did work hard, but there were some days you did not, to justify not giving me a raise. You understand what I'm saying? But yet and still, at the end of 2019, I had 72 hours of PTO remaining. I was able to take 9 days off at the end of the year. Now, if I didn't work hard, how did I have all that PTO? But anyway, it's a shame that as Black people, we have to wake up every day from birth and deal with this. We're still trying to get justice for Emmett Till. Think about that. It's 2020. Fast forward that we're dealing with George Floyd's. It's countless, so many names. We can make T-shirts with fly-ass designs. You see what I'm saying? Black women are being brutally murdered. We're still, how dare the Attorney General get up there, not arrest the men that brutally murdered Breonna Taylor and had the nerve to mention her name at a damn Republican, in a Republican speech. Are you crazy? How disrespectful is that? Blatant disrespect. Like it's, you know, again, I feel sorry for the baby boomers because they ready to, my dad, shout out to my daddy. You know what I mean? Every day he's getting his rifle ready because this thing is crazy out here.
I'm a real one. I'm a real one. Yeah, this is actually more depressing than anything. I think the depression hit me like really bad last week. Actually, when I came home from the march, I had to get my place cleaned up and get my mind back right because number one, this pandemic is just really out of control. I went to this restaurant.
This pandemic I was about to say that this pandemic has really shown us that we have to become, the whole presidency, to me, in my opinion, has shown me that independence is definitely something we have to do. Dependent on Democrats for the last 30, 40 years to do some things for us, and a lot of what's going on is who we're voting for, who we've depended on to help us, you know, with whatever we got, you know, programs, and thus, you know, it's going to call for independence, you know, to be able to get away from what they're not talking about is how many people have actually rose up and started their own businesses because of this, you know what I'm saying, and starting their own journey. Like, to me, I feel like we need to get away from deciding if we're going to vote Republican or Democrat. This might be a little off the topic, but get to like the sources of what it is that they represent, because we're voting Democratic and we don't really understand what the hell that really means. You know, and what they stand for is voting for people based off of what we think the masses want. And for me being an independent, they took independent right out I can't even vote independent anymore because they put you in a state where you either have to vote Republican or Democratic, and neither one of these sources, you have to vote for the lesser evil, because if you're voting, people are voting Democratic because somehow they feel like they're doing us a favor, and then they're voting, they it's Republican or Democratic, and really not looking at what the bigger idea is, because they are contributing to the poverty, to the rate, to rent being what it is, to people being out on the street, to reform, everything else they are contributing to. And I'm not a big politician person, but it's like common sense that if we look at our neighborhoods, we could tell what we've been doing, as far as voting, as far as like who we're depending on to so-called help us along in this journey. I think besides voting for either Democratic or Republican, we need to definitely understand who we're voting for and why we're voting for them, because this is make a big deal in the difference of the rent and other stuff. In addition to, like you said, getting to the government and having a real conversation about what it's going to take, because the marching and all the other shit that we've been doing is getting tired. It's getting lame. It's been lame. And it's the time that we got to like seek the bigger source in all of this, because it's just getting crazy. And independence, if it didn't teach me anything else, this presidency taught me, get out here and get your shit. Get your money right, get your shit right, because you don't know what in the world this place is going to turn into with either presidency, either Republican or Democrats coming into the office. You don't know what's next. And I'd be damned if I have anybody dangling anything over my head to the best of my ability. If I could stack my coins, start my own business, have my own shit, grow my own food, become self-sufficient in some type of way to give them less ability over my quality of life.
That goes into Ice Cube. Ice Cube has been on it. With Joe Biden.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Can y'all hear me?
No, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, so that goes back to like Ice Cube.
I heard Catch 22. I didn't hear it. Oh.
You good now?
I think she got a delay.
Okay.
It's a delay.
Kind of in and out.
Do I sound like that with you, E?
I can hear all of y'all fine. But I think Anissa got a delay. You want to leave and come back in?
Okay, sounds good. So
I'm good.
Ice Cube, he's been on it, right? He's been on it. Like, what is the plan? What is the plan? Ice Cube, he's like, no, Joe Biden, Kamala, that's great. Anything better than Trump. But what is the plan that you have for Black Americans?
Yeah.
He wrote a plan.
You want our vote, but what is your plan?
Absolutely.
And his plan is 100%. Why do we have to pay taxes as Black Americans?
Absolutely.
Why are we paying taxes?
You know what I mean? We built it. My grandpa's grandpa did. We built it. We got this thing together. Y'all stole it. How are we paying taxes on some shit y'all stole? This is what's crazy. This is what's baffling to me about America. And I'm not even coming from a educational standpoint like that. Just being a woman, a Black woman in America with children that just knows the facts. Why the hell, as Black America, are we working so hard? Why the hell do white people feel so entitled after what y'all done? How can you tell me that you're a Christian with a heart and you believe in God and you believe that all of this is okay? Don't tell me it's a good cop when you watch that man shoot that man and you just stand back and slap the hell out of him. Like, what's wrong with you?
That's the problem, because they know that, one, we're not going to do the research.
Right.
They know that we're not going to do the research. We're not going to stop to think, like all of us here, to say, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, ancestors built America. They know that. Yeah. So to have that knowledge, or to have that notion, they could do anything. And that's what I'm saying. It's like,
well, I to go with that. I don't think that it's just us that won't do the research. I think that they know that the white folks aren't going to do the research to find the truth. They don't want to see the truth either. You understand what I'm saying? They don't want to know the truth.
They don't want to be responsible for what they know.
At all. I remember one time.
That's what I mean by those who have mixed children. Do the research. Mm-hmm. While you're raising a mixed child, and your child may have some dark skin, and when they go out there, they're looked at as a Black American. Do the research at home to understand what goes on when your child goes out there, and don't think it's just their cousin Ray Ray. You know what I mean? Do the research yourself. You'll see. Charity starts at home. Charity starts at home all day. Don't go get Black Khloe Kardashian. Do the research. Don't go get your skin darker so you can match your baby. Do the research, Kardashian. Do the research.
So the one thing, and not to change the subject, but the one thing I wanted to talk about, if y'all guys haven't seen Kim Klacik. She's running, she's running for Elijah Cummings' seat as a Republican.
Okay. Yeah, Republican.
Did y'all see the ad that she?
I saw the ad. Yes.
Okay.
Somebody hit me the game because I'm late.
So Kim, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
So I guess I'm right there with you, E. Kim Klacik is running for Elijah Cummings' seat here for Congress, and she did a commercial basically explaining how the importance of understanding the difference between Democrats and Republicans. And she's a Republican, so she highlighted the damage that Democrats have done for over like 30, 40 years. However, those were all great things, but she didn't really go into detail of how she can impact the community. It was more so just her view of what Democrats have done and why it's important to do the research and understand Republicans. And vote for me while you at it. So it was kind of like that. That's what I got from it.
And a lot of people were saying, although she didn't lay it out in the ad, is to go to her website, and that's where she laid it out. That's all fine and good. But if you see an ad of you running a campaign, put it in the ad. And then on top of that, you went to probably one of the poorest displayed parts of Baltimore.
Right. Yeah.
And then when you was doing the ad, you was walking fast, you was talking, it didn't grab me. You see what I'm saying? I saw it. I was like, damn, she's on Pratt Street. Like one of the poorest displayed parts in Baltimore. Quickly pointed that out. But I wanted to show this video, if I could, about her talking about her campaign. And she was kind of like lost for words, like a deer trapped in headlights, like they got me, So
yeah, I want to see it. Let's play that.
All right, so here it is. If I can play it. Can y'all hear it?
No.
Okay.
I love Ebony, by the way, too. I like Ebony.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna take it out and put it back in.
Yeah, take your time. We good. Y'all know what it is.
She's married a white man too.
She what?
Yeah. The we could talk about
she's married to a white man.
Yeah. All right, let me go back.
The conviction
Can y'all hear it now?
Klacik. Now she's a Republican running for a old congressional seat. Also joining is CNN commentator and senior advisor for the Lincoln Project, Sarah Setmeyer. Ladies, thank you and welcome to you both. Kim, I'm going to start with you. You are running for United States Congress. You have a viral video out that has over 10 million views. And in it, you walk the streets of Baltimore and you make the case that Baltimore is in deep devastation, politically, economically, in terms of safety and everything, really, because of Democrat leadership.
The worst place for a Black person to live in America is a Democrat-controlled city. It's 2020. Name a blue city where Black people's lives have gotten better. Try.
I think that resonated with a lot of people. And I think a lot of people, frankly, are very comfortable indicting the failures of the Democrat Party.
I just want to stop it right there. Listen to her comment. Listen to what she said when she was asked this question. Listen to Kim's response.
I think where people get stuck is where Republicans have demonstrated a better alternative. So, Kimberly, I ask you, name a red or Republican-controlled city or state where Black life has improved.
Where Black life has improved? Oh, that's a good question.
Where Black life has improved.
Yeah, that's not something I've looked up. That's a great question.
I appreciate it, and I appreciate your honesty with that, right? Because I think this is where this conversation really needs to go, frankly. I think for generations, we've all been in the business long enough to see different iterations of this right versus left, Republican versus Democrat conversation. It's not new, right? There might be new faces, but the rhetoric is the same. I have been a proud independent, for instance, for 12, 13 years of my voting life. And it's because I'm not complicit or going to reward by default a Democratic Party that I don't necessarily think fully exercises and appreciates the Black vote. Kimberly, I do want you to spend some time with telling me where you see any evidence of the Republican Party making the case for Black people.
Well, so thank you for this question. But I actually talk about how the Republican Party needs to do a better job at engaging inner cities. That was one of my points in the speech. And it's like, look, I know for a fact, I've been doing grassroots for my campaign for over a year now. And when I meet people in Baltimore City, I ask them, how can I get your vote? How can I get your vote for a Republican? And they tell me all the time, you're the first Republican I've ever met. And so there's a problem there. You know, the Republican Party has written off inner cities time and time again. They throw their hands up and says, oh, you know, we know they're going to vote down ballot. We know they're going to vote Democrat, so they don't even try.
You know what? My issue with what she just said right there, if you can pause that, inner city does not represent Black people. Okay. Yes, we live in inner cities, but like when you say inner city, not all Black people live in the inner city.
Thank you.
So why would you put it like that? I'm upset because I live like where I live right now compared to where I used to live is very different. I live in Southeast Ward 7 versus where I was at in Ward 5 and 6 in Northeast, where it was just way different, more gentrified. So yes, I live in the area where you have more of a Black population. However, if she were to see me, she would think that I would be a part of inner city, but I'm not. Because when you say inner city, when I think of inner city, I'm thinking of what Marvin Gaye was talking about, inner city blues. Okay, we're talking about drug infestation, a lack of education in a lot of areas. Okay, where you're dealing with underserved education systems and that sort of stuff, and people don't understand. So
pretty much where her ad was filmed at.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just a dead spot. However, just because I live in an area that you would consider inner city, that doesn't mean that I have a lack of education. That doesn't mean that I'm not educated. It just happens to be where I can afford to live. You understand what I'm saying? So when you say inner city, just because somebody may live in that area, that doesn't mean that is who, like, that encompasses who they are, the things that come along with that. So basically what you're saying is, well, Republican needs to go talk to the uneducated, all this other stuff, because when you're saying inner city, you're saying something completely different than what I look at an inner city. Completely different. I'm done. Girl, bye.
So what Anissa was saying is she's married to a white man who owns and this is when everything I don't even think if she did or didn't. I don't think if she really knew that this was going to come out, or if it's important. But I'm just saying, like, how they dig dirt on every other politician. You know, he ain't no better. So her husband owns a strip club, and that's where he found her at. And
wait a minute, she was a stripper?
Yeah, she was a stripper. And
what?
Yeah,
she looks like she got long legs. She got long legs.
Oh, she's very tall. as the picture.
Wait a minute. So Shorty used to be out there making an ass clap,
making it twerk, doing some strains for some change.
Yeah.
So that was my argument.
See, that's the interview we need. So when you was out there dropping it high, what was you? Wait a minute, Shorty.
So
wait a minute, you got
all about the inner city.
You got a little inner city.
She know about the inner city.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was my argument. That was my argument. Like, first of all, who are you? You see what I'm saying? And I'm almost certain. I'm almost certain that she don't live here in Baltimore.
I mean, I'm not against.
She don't live here in Baltimore.
I bet she know dollar bill. I bet she know dollar bill.
Chi-town. Bucket naked.
Everybody like a good freak. Everybody like a good freak. She's in politics, so you know she a good freak. Come on now. You got to get on way to the top.
And somebody and I had this conversation yesterday on News Minute, Charm City Direct TV News Minute, and I said, you know, script of background, owner of the club, that's her husband. How can you possibly change Baltimore? How can you fix Baltimore?
Well, you basically were a part of the problem.
So a person commented and said, well, maybe
money. She know how to get money.
And he also said, maybe
and she got a sponsor.
He said, maybe this is the shakeup that we need.
Everybody want to be Trump and Melania, don't they?
I said the same thing. I said, I clearly popped up out of the blue. And I think she came around the time that Trump made the statements or the remarks about Baltimore, how Elijah Cummings wasn't doing his job, and right off the break, she just pops up.
He's pimping her. That is what it is. He's pimping her. She is the black face. Okay. She's the black face for a black community, and he's behind her, pushing her. He pimping her. She's still stripping, just in a different form.
No, she's just to reiterate, Kevin, they still married. He said former strip club. No, he still owns that.
Thank God. Wait a minute. Thank God I put my beer in my teacup this morning.
So I just wanted to put that out there. Like, what are your thoughts? What are your
I think opinions? It's a hot talking mess, and he is pimping her. Point blank, period.
Yeah.
He is pimping the hell out of her.
In my mind, she know how to make money, and she was able to go out and get a sponsor. She's trying to build the community.
Let me pour some more in here because you don't.
I love Katie.
Support black business. Support black business.
I'm done.
Support black business.
Oh yeah, she was a stripper. she got some red that she put on. Get it, boo.
So I'm gonna finish.
Been a long time member of the Republican Party.
Oh, okay. So this is the end of it. So
I'm done.
Yeah.
Oh, I am so done. Hey, y'all, this was an excellent show today. We are going to close it a few minutes early because before, as we end the live, we do want to stay on here and talk to you guys. So thank you all for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed the show. And just remember, Black Lives Matter, and so does Black Evictions. Make sure that you push people who are saying Black Lives Matter to help people stay in their homes, whether it be major political organizations, corporations, all of that type of stuff. Push your politicians to do something about the eviction crisis that is looming right now in America. Because by the end of September, we don't know where Black people will be. Black and Latinas are absolutely in a very, very hard position right now, as most of the jobs that they took up, renters took up, have now disappeared under stay-at-home orders. So you want to be mindful of that. We disproportionately make up those jobs as renters. So I just want to let you, these are service sector jobs, by the way. So renters make up a disproportionate amount of service sector jobs that has disappeared under stay-at-home orders. 50% of income to low income people, 50% of their income goes out the door to rent and utilities. So we are in a very, very, very difficult space. So let's just make sure that when you say Black Lives Matter, as organizations, corporations, we hold you to that. Starbucks, where you at? Go ahead and drop some coins. All right, all them bucks you got.
And you see, I don't have Starbucks today, y'all. I make coffee at home.
That's good. Your ass was actually on time.
Yeah, I make coffee on time. And another thing I want to shout out to the NBA. They're not forcing, but one of the things that the owners are doing, they're agreeing to opening the arenas to polling sites. So let's make sure that we get out there and vote, not only for presidency, but superintendents, mayors, you know what I mean? Let's vote all across the board. Let's get these judges out of here that's convicting our people. Let's get out here and love one another. Whenever you see somebody that may be Caucasian acting a little crazy, don't be scared to slap the hell out of them. Let's get there. Let's get there in the world. Stand for something or fall for anything. Do it for all the baby boomers out here that are having PTSD to everything that's going out here. Stand for some young people. Start slapping the hell out of people.
All right. All right. So, hey, E-Dick, go ahead and take us out of here.